what actually goes on into fitting one of these on a combi boiler. This is a great choice if you're not fitting something like a hive. So this would probably be the best combi choice at the moment for budget or landlords. The one above that is probably you start going into the hive territory. This is the budget option. 2 batteries, programmer and thermostat. It's all in one. The receiver, and you've got a stand as well. I really like this about the ESI because you don't need to drill into any walls. You put it onto the stand and you leave.
Welcome back everyone. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I've got a Vaillant Combi here and we're going to be fitting a smart thermostat. So I'm just going to show you the wiring. If you're interested in more wiring videos, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment saying what you'd like to actually see. Over here I'm stripping a 5-core wire with my Nipex tool. It's a really handy tool to get, so I would definitely advise it. So like I said, I've got the 5-core because we'll be using 3 of those wires, which will be live, neutral and earth. So we'll need an extra wire, so that's why we use 5-core. I push the cable through just like that, and what we're looking for is the terminal, which has RT. So RT is where this signal goes to tell the boiler to fire up. RT is of course short for room thermostat. As you can tell, you've got earth, neutral and live. So the first thing we do is get rid of the cables that are consistent. So it's earth, neutral, live. That leaves 1 wire. So we can choose between the black or the gray. I've chosen the gray to be the switch live. So the RT is the switch live, and it basically just means it's the return to the boiler. It's what's going to return to the boiler and tell it to fire when there's a heat in demand. So we plug that back in. Make sure you tuck away all the cables, and then on the bus side of things, we remove the RT from the bus because that particular boiler had an internal programmer. You wouldn't normally have to do this, but on that occasion we had to remove that link. Funneling everything through, we get the back plate onto the wall. You can use some clippers if you like to just make space for the cable to come through. Again, we just get rid of the wires we already know, which are earth, neutral and live. So there we go, that's the neutral in the neutral terminal, which is indicated by the letter N. We'll then get our link. So I'm going to put my link into 1. Now the reason we put in the link into 1 is because the numbered section is not powered. So we need to actually provide power to the numbered section. So now I can put the live wire into the live terminal, which is indicated by L. So that link is providing power to the other side. Now on this particular programmer, the switch is number 2. So gray goes to number 2, which again in the boiler goes to RT, right? So that's what will switch power to the boiler and tell it to run when there's a demand for heating. So there we go, we can put the receiver onto the back plate. Then we screw those 2 screws underneath, plug the boiler in. So once that's all plugged in and turned on, the boiler is going to power the receiver. The receiver will then connect automatically to the thermostat, which uses batteries. So we're going to put in the batteries now. Now there's no setup process for the ESI. It will just connect automatically out of the box, which is why I love it. There's no weird setup like some manufacturers like to do. It's just automatic, which is great. So there we go. Now at the back we can put on the stand. So that means I don't have to drill any holes into the wall. So that's it. That is done. So all I need to do now is put the boiler on the on position and just tell the customer that they no longer need to use the timer that's on the boiler itself. So now we'll just watch everything fire up. We see the receiver get the information. The receiver then passes that information to the boiler to fire up, which will take a while. So we'll see the boiler fire up with a flame signal in a bit. There we go. And the radiator icon is flashing as well. You'll need to understand what the diagrams and information at the back of the thermostat or programmer mean. So let's go through that really quickly. So on the top right corner, we've got a square within a square. What does that mean? So we've got that bit there that I'm highlighting right there. Now that is double insulated. That means you don't actually need to use an earth wire. 230 volts AC. And that tells us that you need 230 volts. Then here it also says 230 volts, but that's showing 230 volts going this way. It's not showing 230 volts between here and here, right? It's not showing anything is 230 volts. Instead, what it's doing is it's showing us this link. Okay, so that means that this live is providing direct power to this side. Number 2 is the switch, which is why we put gray into number 2. Now, over here we've got open therm. Now we could have used open therm, but we chose not to on this occasion because they were an elderly couple. It's a bit too difficult to explain. They just want basic on and off. And what this switch does is it's a basic on and off switch. It reaches temperature and it switches off once it reaches temperature. You could actually get power from the boiler using open therm. Now that wouldn't be 230 volts. That would be 24 volts DC. So if you would mix AC and DC, you'd end up frying your boiler, right? Because this side, open therm, is DC. Now if you had to put a link while your boiler was connected to open therm, you would fry your whole PCB. So if you were using open therm, you would not put a link. There would be no link at all.